Right. Is that something like you would want to experience at some point in your career, just like a fight of the year contender like that?
100%. I think that's what makes legends. So fights like that really reach, a lot further than just a generic fight that you finished like mine.
Well, speaking about yours, I don't know what the odds were, but I can't imagine you by submission over a boost was, that small of an like it was probably a massive line, right? So I guess how'd that fight play out compared to your expectations and game plan?
My expectation was to finish him. I accomplished that. Not the way that I thought it was going to go. I said in a couple of the other interviews, my mind was so sharp this week. I felt good. I did all the work. We knew that I was physically prepared, the best I ever have been. But for whatever reason, man, I don't know if it was the rehydration. I don't know if it was, I felt tired during the day today, and I didn't take a nap. I tried to stay awake. I felt asleep. Like, I was literally about to fall asleep. Like, I couldn't get the tingles. I wasn't, like, my body just wasn't energetic. I felt flat. At the shakeout, it felt amazing. After that, I just felt flat. I don't know what it was. But after a boost, whooped my ass in the first round, I woke up, and my coaches got my ass about what I needed to do, and I noticed on my own, obviously, at the end of the first round that Abus was definitely breathing. I could hear it, and that's something Dean told me. That's something both my coaches, John and Jonathan, told me. And, I knew I was going to start putting on the pressure. I woke up after that.
So that first round was more. Do you think it was more of how you were feeling compared to like what Abus was doing?
I don't want to take away from him. He's strong as shit. He's definitely a formidable opponent, double the fight experience as me and everything. He's definitely strong, but I think there's a little bit of consideration that I was just physically not there, bro. I don't know. Like, when I usually get, like, body lock, I launch people.
Yeah.
And instead, I tried to do, like, a lazy back trip, and that right there isn't me, typically. I would have squeezed his lower back, lifted him, and then slammed him. But I just was, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened.
You made a pretty clear media day that you asked for this for Abus specifically. So I'm sure you had him scouted out in there. But to actually be in there, was he better than you thought, or was it something surprised you in there for you, especially in that first round?
He was stronger than I thought as far as grappling goes, but he wasn't as good as I thought skill-wise in grappling. So he was stronger than I thought he was going to be, but like skill on the ground, like
technique-wise?
Like, he didn't land any hard shots on me. I didn't take any damage. I was pretty safe, pretty protected. Like, I was never in, like, real danger. He got that little thing where he tried to squeeze my head. It was uncomfortable, but I was never in danger. But no, he is as advertised. He's a bad motherfucker, and I'm just better, even on my worst day.
Well, like we also talked about at Media Day, pretty much the top 5 is the only people that have beaten Abus, Strickland and Carvalho. So I guess, where do you think you fit into this division? Because for all this talk we have about, you having the hardest recorded punch at middleweight, now you're submitting guys in there. So where do you think you fit into this middleweight division right now?
So here's the thing. I have always had good jiu-jitsu. I just don't like to do jiu-jitsu. My coaches will tell you the same thing. I'd rather stand and bang. I'm a live by the sword, die by the sword kind of guy. And, I should start using it a little more. But, again, I talked to Sean Brady on the phone, too, with a little FaceTime, like his little, hype, like, hey, go whip his ass type thing. And he was like, dude, you have good grappling. Like, Sean has to work really hard against me, and he beats my ass, right? But, I have good grappling and all those things. I got to use it.
Well, it seems the top 5 of the division is very grappling heavy. So, Hamzat, RDR, Brandon Allen, and even Fluffy. So I guess you're going to have to use that in there. So are you confident in your abilities against the elite of the elite up there?
100%, brother. The only person that's taken me down to UFC was Jack in the 5th round, and I wasn't who I am now then. And that's just, I'll leave it at that. And I had a bunch of things going on and going into that fight, and it is what it is. So I look forward to fighting the grapplers more than the strikers, trust me. Thank you.
Just one for me. I heard that you had a pretty long conversation with Dana after the fight outside the ring. Were you asking about the White House card, or what were you guys chatting about?
I was not, but I'm going to keep that to myself because it's something that I'm not going to keep it to myself. I mean, basically, he was just, I won't tell you the one part of the conversation, but, he was just saying about how him and the matchmakers were talking about, like, why is he fucking shooting type thing. And they were like, I don't think he has a choice. And This is like last time, bro. When I was doing the interview, it was International Fight Week. I fought Marc-Andre Barrion. The helicopters kept going by. Yeah. Shit, man. What was your question? Oh, so he was saying he was talking to the matchmakers and everything. And so my biggest thing, like I was yelling at Mick after the fight. Not in a, I guess it could be considered disrespectful, but I was supposed to fight Abus, or I was offered Abus. I said no because he was like a couple spots behind me or whatever, and I wanted to fight up. And so then they offered me Kelvin, who was coming back to middleweight. When he left middleweight, he was like number 14 or 13. He just beat Chris Curtis, whatever. We fought on the same card. So I fought Kelvin, and then Abus fought Michel Pereira. He beat Pereira. He was ranked. So then I said, after I won, yo, let's run it. So but the narrative was kind of like they were really mad at me for saying no. And I was like, okay, well, you're not going to call me. He didn't call me a bitch either, but it just made it seem like I didn't want to fight because I was like worried about it or something. So after I beat Kelvin, I was like, all right, let's run it with Abus. So that's all that he was like talking about. He thought it was funny. He was like, you made a huge statement, and that was it. Are we good? Good. Thank you.